You're right, you bunch of scallywags. The question I'm going to be answering today is a question all proper geezers should be asking. What gives a bloke a better shave? A foil shaver or a rotary shaver? My partners in crime for today's video are these two beasts. Number one is the Philips 5000 series rotary shaver, and number two, the Braun Series 7 foil shaver. Now let's get one thing straight. These two products are fucking sensibly priced, alright? Like, I ain't testing these companies' flagships, because if I did that, I'd have to give up my holiday to Benidorm this year, wouldn't I? Fucking 300 quid each. Give me a break, mate. I ain't paying £600 just to prove a point. Anyway, these two bad boys are much more sensibly priced at about 100 to 150 quid each, and these represent the mid to higher mid-range end of the market. I guess you could say these are higher bang for the buck. But I live in fucking Great Britannia, don't I? We don't use bucks here, son. So I'll change that. These two shavers give you the highest bang for your bob. If you don't know how to speak proper British, I've left translations in the comments, lads. Today we're going to go through the pros and cons of these two electric shaver technologies. And while we're here, I guess we may as well have a chinwag about the strengths and weaknesses of the Philips 5000 and Braun Series 7. First, let's talk specs. Now, the Philips Series 5000 is a rotary style shaver. As you can see, there's 3 cutters on it. You're meant to use it like this on your face. Circular motions like your fucking Mr. Miyagi, mate. You can use it wet or dry, and you can even use shaving gel on it if you want. It's got Skin IQ technology, so it senses your air thickness and changes the power of the motor to suit. It has 45 self-sharpening steel precision blades spinning at 90,000 cutting actions a minute. The one I got came with a travel case, and that's about it. You can spec it with more accessories like a charging stand and some additional niceties, but I didn't bother because I got better things to do with my spare change. In it, it has one touch opening for easy cleaning of the blades. Just rinse it with water like this. It has a little built-in trimmer for doing your moustache and your sideburns, though it's not the best design. I think every now and then it wants to fold itself back in. I think the Braun's version is a little bit better. Battery life, it gives you 60 minutes of shaving time and it takes 1 hour to charge it. If you're running low on juice, you can quickly charge this in 5 minutes and it will give you enough power for a whole shave. Unless you got a fuckload of pubes like me, then you're in trouble and you'll need at least 3 whole charges to finish the job. It's got some eco shitty blades that no sod cares about, and it's got a built-in display to let you know where you are like. As for the shaver heads, Philips say you gotta replace these every 2 years or so, and they cost about £30. Overall, I think this Philips is quite cushy. Next up is the Braun Series 7. Now, the Braun Series 7 is a foil shaver. When you use it, you must use a nice up and down motion. Not like that, you dirty dog. Like this. It's also 100% waterproof and can be used wet or dry. It's got a 360 flex design head with some sort of suspension in it, you know, to soften the blow a little bit. Like the Philips, it also scans your face to see how hairy you are and adjusts the motor in response. Braun call this auto sense technology. It's got a little accessory light which you clip on the top to do your sideburns, so it's not built in like the Philips is, but when you clip it on, I think it actually does a better job like. However, a Philips One blade is still better than both of these trimmers because it's much smaller and you can be a little bit more precise with it. By the way, the Braun comes with a 100-day money-back guarantee, unlike the Philips. It also comes with a travel case and can be spec'd to come with add-on items like a blade cleaning station and shit like that. Braun reckons this lasts 50 minutes from a full charge, and it only gives you 5 minutes of charging to give you 1 full shave. Braun say it's engineered in Germany, so I'll translate that. It's not made in Germany. As for the shaver head, Braun say you're meant to replace these every 18 months and it costs about 40 nicker. So what are my thoughts on rotary shavers versus foil shavers? Let's start with rotary shavers. First of all, they're a little bit lighter typically, and this one was quite easy to hold in the hand. They're not too loud in use compared to a typical foil shaver. It works well when shaving wet or dry, and it doesn't hurt your mug as long as you press lightly. It gives quite a smooth shave, definitely a bit closer than something like a Philips One blade, which I also own. But I'd say the shave isn't as close as something like a proper old school shaver, like this double-edged safety razor I got from Wilkinson's Sword. That definitely cuts closer, but if you got a baby face like this geezer, a traditional razor can leave you with sores and bumps all around your mug. Last time I used this, I ended up looking like Jabba the fucking Hutt. The other advantage of this rotary shaver is that they are quite good at getting those flat awkward hairs, like you know the ones on your neck that won't piss off unless you chop off chunks of your face. I guess it can approach the hairs at all these different angles like, so it's quite good for that. Overall, a rotary shaver is quite consistent. Not a very good shave, but at least it's a consistently mediocre one. Cons of rotary shavers. Now, the obvious con of a rotary shaver is that it doesn't offer a very close shave. They can also leave quite a few stray hairs behind, so you gotta keep doing that Mr. Miyagi trick on your face over and over again. And the more you do that, the more it irritates your skin. After about 100 years have gone past, you might look in the mirror again and there'll still be one odd bastard hair staring back at you holding its middle finger up. In the end, I usually have to give up and get these with a Philips one blade or a manual razor. The other slight con is it's not always the most comfortable shave. Like every now and again, it'll feel like someone's ripped a hair right out the follicle, which is not cushy at all. Another con of rotary shavers is they're a bit fussier to clean. Basically, you can clean them under a tap after every shave, but every now and again, you really should strip the blades one by one and clean it more thoroughly like. It's not too much of a bother, but a foil shaver is easier. Now here's the pros of foil shavers. First of all, they tend to be a little bit heavier than rotary shavers, but this Braun was not awkward to hold at all, so if you get a good one, you're in luck. And the great thing is, it's a very comfortable shave. Like this Braun didn't hurt my face at all. No matter if I really dug in as well, this thing was like rubbing a cotton pad all over my face, mate. Foil shavers are known to give very smooth and very close shaves. I tested this Braun Series 7 directly against my safety razor from Wilkinson's Sword. I went over my face twice with the Wilco Sword, and then I went over the same area with the Braun, and I swear the Braun managed to cut more hair off. In other words, this thing shaves closer than a proper safety razor. Now granted, this Wilkinson Sword does not cut the closest out of all safety razors, but it is still a safety razor, so that is a proper boon for the Braun Series 7. At first, I couldn't believe the outcome of this test, but I did repeat it on another day and I got the same result. This thing is proper pucker, lads. If you can't be asked to clean it, it's got a nifty little cleaning station which self-cleans the blades, and I'm sure Philips also have something like this, but Braun at least bundled it in the package, which I think is a plus. It's also not too loud. Foil shavers are known for being quite loud, but I do think this one operates at a manageable level, so if you get a good one, it's not too problematic. Now the Philips is quieter, but the Philips also sounds a bit weak in comparison to the motor in the Braun. By the way, if you do decide to clean it yourself, a foil shaver is a lot easier to clean than a rotary shaver. You just pop the head off like this and run it under a tap, and it's pretty much good to go. So it takes a lot less time. So let's summarize. Foil shavers versus rotary shavers. For the closeness of the shave, the foil shaver wins. It shaves so close that you can't feel any prickliness on your face even with an upstroke. I'd say this Braun shaver gets as close or closer than my manual razor, and then the Philips gets to the same amount of closeness as the Braun if you had shaved the day before, if that makes sense. So Braun on day 1 is baby smooth, and then on day 2 it starts getting a bit prickly, and then the Philips rotary matches that sort of closeness. Then on day 3 it's starting to look a bit stubbly, and I'd say that's the sort of length a Philips one blade will get you to. Comfort. These Brauns are very comfortable and more comfortable than the Philips rotary, but that doesn't apply to all foil shavers. Basically, I've also got another foil shaver made by Panasonic, and if you use that, it's like Edward Scissorhands has had a go at your mug like this. Panasonic foil shavers are known to not be very comfortable on your face. So I'd say in terms of comfort, it's really a draw because it depends on the shape of your face and it depends which company you've gone with. Now, if you're tackling flat and dodgy hairs that grow at weird angles, I'd say the rotary is probably the winner in that category. The Braun can tackle flat hairs, but you really got to pull the skin tight and it's just a lot more effort if I'm honest. However, if you get a super posh foil shaver like the Braun Series 9, that's meant meant to be a lot more efficient at getting those dodgy little hairs because it's got additional flat cutters, you see. But in general, like, your typical rotary shaver is probably better than your typical foil shaver. Now, if you like to shave every day, then I'd say the rotary is more suited to that job because it doesn't give you a super close shave in the first place. So it's good if you just want to keep on top of things and you don't want to get bumps all over your face. Now, if you shave multiple times a week, then I'd say the foil shaver is more up to the job because they deal with longer, stronger hairs a little bit more easily. For some reason, it just feels like it's more powerful to me and is better suited to that job. Where they both shine compared to manual razors is that they are kinder to your skin and it's harder to leave your face with rashes and bumps. Also, you don't have to worry about replacing the heads for at least a year, so you ain't gonna worry about them being blunt and that. Now, where they both fail compared to a manual razor is that they both didn't give me 100% perfect shave. Like at the end of each shaving session, I switched to either the inbuilt trimmer or reached for my Philips one blade to finish the job and tidy the job up. But overall, I'd say I was most happy with the Braun and I'd likely use that day to day rather than a manual razor. Now, is it worth upgrading to a flagship foil or rotary shaver? You might get better results if you do that, but I'm confident that the advantages of a foil shaver will still be there, and the same goes for the rotary. Overall, I still think I will prefer the foil shaver if I get a flagship model. Philips do say that their flagship gets even closer and it has twice the number of blades or some shit like that. And then the Braun Series 9, which is their flagship, has a Pro Lift trimmer, and that's a little upgrade to get those tricky little flat hairs I mentioned earlier. And apparently it works quite well. And I gotta say, after doing this review, I'm tempted to try the Braun Series 9 or the 9 Prestige model just because I think it looks a bit of quality, and I do like myself a bit of quality like. Perhaps I'll give up my holiday to Benidorm and just get the Braun Series 9 Prestige because you know there's nothing more impressive than a well-groomed geezer. Bosh!